might be wondering why again OnePlus 6. In my last video, I've already promised that I'll be uploading the OnePlus 6 full review, and I've been using the smartphone for quite a long time, and I've come into conclusions of how the OnePlus 6 is performing in aspect of the camera, performance, battery life and everything. So hey guys, Arnav here from Tech Arena, and before moving on to the video, if you end up liking this, do consider smashing the like button and also click the red color subscribe button below the description box. It's absolutely free, and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you stay updated in the channel. Now let's move on to the review of the OnePlus 6. Now let's start the review of the OnePlus 6 with its physical overview. On the front, you have the all-new notch design display, in which in the notch you have earpiece sensor and a 16 megapixel camera with f2.0 aperture and EIS. And below that you have a 6.2 inch Full HD Plus resolution AMOLED display, and on the bottom you have the navigation button which is on screen. So you get 82.4% screen to body ratio. On the back you have a vertical dual camera setup, in which the primary camera houses a 20 megapixel sensor with f1.7 aperture and OIS, and the secondary camera houses a 16 megapixel sensor with f1.7 aperture and no stabilization. Below that you have the fingerprint sensor and the OnePlus logo. On the right side you have the power button and the alert slider. On the left you have the volume rockers and the SIM tray, in which it's a dual SIM slot and you can't expand the storage. Now let's move on to the specifications of the OnePlus 6. The OnePlus 6 comes in with Snapdragon 835 processor, which is Qualcomm's latest flagship chipset, and the GPU is the Adreno 630, and there are two RAM variants for the new OnePlus 6, which is a 6 and 8 gig RAM variants. There are three storage options, which is a 64, 128 and 256 GB for the Avengers edition. So this runs on the Android 8.1 Oreo built on top of Oxygen OS 5.1.2. The battery capacity of the OnePlus 6 is 3300 mAh. The security options for the OnePlus 6 comes as the face unlock, the fingerprint scanner, and the pattern and the regular pin code security options. Now let's talk about the in-hand feel and the user interface of the OnePlus 6. While I was using the smartphone, I felt slippery sometimes because the back is made out of metal and glass, so it was slippery sometimes. So I recommend to use a skin or a back case instead while using the OnePlus 6. Now the smartphone scored a benchmark score of 2,76,510 in Antutu while I was testing. The RAM and the processor gave its best while playing some games like PUBG, Asphalt 8, etc. and etc. Now let's talk about the camera. Well, while talking about the photos taken with it, I noticed some slight minor contrast and saturation boost in every photo I took. Now let's see some camera samples shot with the rear camera of the OnePlus 6. So generally, if you see, the images have a hike in their saturation level and the contrast. This rear camera supports dual optical zoom, which gives you good zooming while taking some of the shots. And here are some of the portraits shot with the OnePlus 6. So if you see carefully in the portraits, the edge detection works really well all the time, and thanks to the f1.7 aperture and the dual lens. And these are some of the shots shot with the front camera of the OnePlus 6. And in this also you can see the contrast and saturation levels is bit higher, but the skin tones is really great. And talking about the video performance of the OnePlus 6, the OnePlus 6 can shoot 4K in 60 frames per second as well as Full HD in 60 frames per second. The slow motion video in Full HD can be shot up to 240 frames per second, and in 720p it can be shot up to 480 frames per second. Now overall the OnePlus 6 is a really great smartphone in terms of battery, display, performance as well as the camera. So there is only one con in this device, that the wireless charging is not supported even though it's a glass bag. But OnePlus says that they simply don't want the feature because it's existing in all the flagship devices. Yes, the wireless charging technology is not so good, but there could have been implemented which gives a little bit boost to its feature. But overall, the OnePlus 6 is a really great smartphone compared to the other big flagship giants, which is costing twice than this price of the smartphone. So the pricing of the OnePlus 6 starts from 34,999 rupees for the base variant, which is the 6GB RAM and the 64GB internal storage. And there's a special edition for this OnePlus 6, which is the Avengers edition, which is costing around 44,999 rupees, which will be only available from June. There are 3 color variants of the OnePlus 6, which is the mirror black, the matte finish black, and a sandstone white. There's also a special edition, as I mentioned, which is the Avengers edition. So that's it for the review of the OnePlus 6. Hope you like this video. If you like this video, as I said, give a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I'm Arnav here, signing off from Tech Arena. Let's meet in the next video.